Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.
Container packed with supplies that need to make their way to families in Africa like yesterday. You said this is a 53-foot trailer? This trailer is packed with medical supplies destined to the motherland. We need to help get these out of here.
Shalom, Salama, CME, Shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world. Whether you are of the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted in to the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, I welcome you this morning. Sorry, family. It took me a little bit of time. Had some technical difficulties. Because I was up this morning, early in the morning, 47 degrees on outside, and talking to some folks over in the Middle East and trying to get into contact with folks on the continent. We are in a very dynamic world right now, and I'm going to tell you what we have experienced last year pales in comparison of what's happening right now today. If people don't understand what actually happened with the Houthis, the U.S. never won against the Houthis. It was literally the Chinese brokering the peace deal with Iran and Saudi Arabia earlier this year that brought that under control. And now you have to understand just because you had a peace deal doesn't mean that you don't stop preparing for the next conflict. And it's interesting because the news was reporting a 10 nation membership. Well, I didn't see all the nations. I wanted to take a look. I think I'll probably have that article up. But the nation, but it was very shallow in terms of who is on out there. And you have to understand all of these other nations that's like, all right, Bahrain and Seychelles, those have so many military bases on there. You're not going to, quote unquote, reject any offer that's put in front of you. Because it's the United Kingdom, Canada, France, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Spain. Mainly your Western nations. How come Japan's not in there? How come China is not there? Let me share this article in the chat. And you had to understand a lot of these carriers, they were literally on that. Hey, if you support this one side that has overwhelming military support from the West, that the West has deemed as their lever, their mechanism, however you want to call it, whatever it is that they want to call it. But they said that they're going to actively go after those ships. And what that has done, that has effectively shut down the strait, which is known as the Bab al Mendeb or Bab al Mendeb. That strait that is between Djibouti and Yemen. And let me tell you, if they have to have a coalition, understand that they're being affected and understand that everything that they have been trying to do to be able to withstand the onslaught of the price of oil increasing, which will create severe economic challenges called inflationary rising. Yes, because they had said, they mentioned this weeks ago, the U.S. is now producing oil at record production. And that is simply because the price of oil from these other countries are more. And so, in order to really devalue oil or cause a price reduction in oil, well, you have to flood the market, flood the zone. And that's what's been happening. Notably, in here, I do not see, I'm looking throughout the article, I don't see UAE and Saudi Arabia. You would think that that would be your biggest proponents there for this coalition of the maritime willing. Nope, not. Because why? Because it even shows that, look, they can go through Africa, Cape of Good Hope, a BRICS nation. They don't want to do that because you want to know why? They'd have to anchor, they'd have to moor, resupply, and then take the trek up the African coast. Believe it or not, this is actually very good for the African nations because why? Because those ships, when they have to go through a resupply, well, that resupply will be done on those in those African nations. This is why you do not see. Let's go back in here. This is why you do not see any African nations listed besides Seychelles. The only one. And that's just because Seychelles has a military base. It has a Western military base. UK, if I'm not mistaken. So, yes, that's economic dominance. And the question is, are all the shipping, are all commercial ships being seized? Or is it just ones linked to those one folks? See, these are the questions that we have to ask because this boil is getting slow and steady. It's slow, but it's steady. It's moving. Like I have always said, they are trying their best to keep Christmas. And I've said this on this channel and I'm going to say it here because I believe this is their last Christmas. So they're trying to savor it. And so, no matter what they tried to do, no matter how they tried to work things on out, I think it's just too great. I know it's just too great. Because why? Because that's what the word says. We serve an Elohim whose son's name is Yahusha, and there's too many things going on. And with all these things going on, they can't ignore the fact anymore that we see what's happening. We see what's happening. The whole world sees what's happening. The whole world sees the wars that they're about to get drug into, and they're not happy about it either. So, as folks are thinking about Christmas, they're also understanding that this next year is going to be something very, very dramatic. Why? Why shop anywhere? Why buy anywhere? If you understand how things are going. And that's what a lot of people are doing. They're seeing that and they're getting prepared. Well, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything, but you want to know what? I just want to make sure that I'm prepared for anything. Now that's an admonition. See, what they get scared about is they get scared of these admonitions. I have to now admit that things are not how they used to be. I now have to admit that there is a loss of control of the environment. I now have to admit that there is a volcanic eruption happening in Iceland as we speak. I now have to admit that there are plagues of frogs in Honduras because these plagues weren't just going to be seen in one particular area. It was going to be all over the world because everyone worldwide is feeling it. They're feeling the unsettlings of the quote unquote world order. They're seeing the unsettling of what was. It was just a natural way of doing things and natural things, right? That's how we've always had it. That's how it'll always be. No, it was done for this. It was done as this for a time. And now we see that that time is speeding up because now we see what is inevitably around the corner. This was the inevitable shakeup. And now nations are trying to figure on out if this place is being judged, then how do we work through judgment? How do we survive through judgment? How do we come out on the other side of this judgment so so that we do not partake in the plagues? That's what these nations are doing. That's what they're trying to figure on out. How do we make sure that we can survive the plagues, survive the judgment? Because you just can't get yourself out the gang. You know what I'm saying? Unscathed. Now you're going to take some hits. You may lose an eye. You may lose an ear. You may lose a couple of teeth. But you're not going to get out unscathed. It's what can you do with the rest of you? Let me show you this. Don't believe me? Oh, boy. This is your Psalms 83 moment. Why do the nations rage? I just dropped this link in the chat. This article says from the Climate Defo, a CFACT project. I don't know who that is, but this peer-reviewed study that was published in the Public Library of Sciences Journal, PLOS One. This is labeled Just Stop Breathing. Peer-reviewed study says human breathing contributes to global warming. Like we had said, they're just trying to reduce you so they don't have to go through all that judgment. Why do the nations rage? There you go. That's Psalms 83. See, you have to understand the closer that they get to their judgment, the more that they are going to share. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. The slow and steady boil. Here is a UK correspondent, Sister Chantel. Shalom, Sister Chantel. You're on mute, Sister Chantel.
Yes, sorry. I'm on road right now, so you can hear the train passing
Oh,
behind
I
me.
can hear the train. Oh my goodness.
Yep, London Transport. Um, I just came in. I literally just got the notification, and as soon as I came in, it says just stop breathing.
Yeah, just stop breathing. You and I, we all contribute to global warming.
Mm. So they're no longer going after the cows.
No, no, it was all gonna be for us. Oh, and guess what? Those folks that are, have a little bit of melanin or heavily melanated, well, believe it or not, there's a lot more carbon in us. So,
That's right. We breathe
the
heavier.
carbon. we-
Especially after that good meal.
You already know where this is targeted. Oh, we were just gonna go there. You already knew. Please.
Of course. They're so transparent. They're practically see-through.
Oh my goodness. So
Sorry, hold on. Let me turn this off.
I'm just gonna peruse through this article of nonsense. So it's Charles Rotter, the absurdity of measuring breath for climate change in a recent study published in PLOS One titled Measurement of Methane and Nitrous Oxide in Human Breath in the Development of UK Scale Emissions. Man, I'm telling you, if it's not the US, it's the UK. This is, yeah.
Stupidity follows us wherever we go, man. It is what it
Humans
is.
humans are fueling global warming by just breathing, study claims. This is ridiculous.
Sorry. Sorry, I need to stop laughing.
Leads to this perspective is not
Laughing.
only scientifically unsound, but also leads to dehumanizing policies. Yeah, well, everything. Oh
We
boy.
are causing global warming just because we're breathing. You know, when you step out of your house and it's cold and you get that that hot air coming out of your breath, that's all contributing. When the skies are grey and you can't see the sun, that's your breath up in the atmosphere, stopping the sun. Oh my gosh, I'm so
Well,
sorry.
I'm just kind of surprised with all the hot air that comes out of those people from the UK that it's not a nice, warm tropical paradise.
Listen, it's they are the reason that they no they are the reason why all this hot air they keep blowing out of their every orifice on their body when they come up with this nonsense. They're the reason why it's them.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
but
funny
then
to say
but
that.
then they don't want to reject, oil and everything else with their little climate whatever, nonsense that they have. They don't want to talk about all of the things that they do in terms of their industrialization and pollutants that go on from their
Exactly.
practices. You know,
Create the issues and then you want to blame the I'm always I said this the last time. I'm always suspicious of people that write articles or go on these forums and start using terminologies like humans. Like I have to look at them like, so what are you?
yeah. So do reptilians breathe a lot slower when they're breathing out of their slanty nostrils? I'm just saying. I don't know.
We
This may lend.
conserve our breath.
Yep, that's maybe having that slithery forked tongue is more, aerodynamic with breathing, and maybe that's going to be on the next human what is it, the humanist transhumanist policy that they have slit tongue operations.
They're gonna say in order to avert this catastrophe, to try um, to to deal with this, we're gonna have to upload ourselves somewhere,
Hmm.
because then you're not breathing. You don't need your human carbon-based bodies.
Well, you don't, now that they have a human tissue that's now they're trying to have nanobite technology to also infuse with human tissue, brain tissue.
Mm.
Yeah, and they also had something very interesting of um, a neural interface without invasive surgery. Yeah, so you just become a Borg with just wearing a cap.
These people, it's I'm I'm just bored with them now. It's that's for real, man. This it's boring.
Do you
You know the thing
understand
they
why these nations are being driven to war? It is like the wickedness is just it, it's just too much.
it's too much and it's just boring. It's like you're like for real. You've done shown us what you're planning on doing. It's not even interesting anymore. It's like oh my gosh. Hold on, let me turn that off.
So, I just put that article in the chat. The article was called Just Stop Breathing. It's a
They,
peer reviewed study
it
that,
sounds like they could make a sitcom out of it. Like a I don't know, a sitcom for those people that with that kind of mindset.
well, remember the movie Don't Look Up? That's kind of how it is. It's like don't stop or just stop breathing,
That movie
So,
was crazy.
yeah. Yep, I think Netflix is trying to show some people some things, and then now they're all in a tizzy about leave the world behind. Now they're asking the question: was there a message that leave the world? It's like if there's a message, it's like it's sad that you have to ask the question if there's a message because the whole thing is, man, black folks saw that message. Every
Well,
black person saw that message.
exactly. I mean, the funny thing is, the biggest breakdown is the fact that they, it was the fact that of how they reacted, how we reacted, and how they reacted. We, as a people, we have a tendency to internalize everything.
Hmm.
We look internal and we start calling out to the most high. We tend to come together when it comes to situations like that. When it comes to them though, on the other hand, they have a tendency to externalize everything. It's like clearly when they know they have to look at themselves, they don't do that. They externalize it and they have to seek out somebody else to blame for their issues because they will never take accountability. And we've seen that,
Mm.
so it's the funny thing is that when you actually, the way they reacted is exactly Julia Roberts' one. It's so funny because it's like watching
We're
the,
losing you, Sister Chantel. You're going under. She's in the underground. She's in the tunnel.
can you hear me?
Going, going, gone. Yeah, now we can hear you. You were in that tunnel, weren't you?
No, I'm not. Another train just pulled up.
Okay.
So I probably will, kind of get cut out. Um, but I'll just be quick. It's kind of like they had that moment where it's like it's almost an instantaneous kind of. They reacted in exactly the same way. It's like watching a bunch of fish or birds just kind of flock together. It's almost like they agreed upon the reaction without
She,
actually agreeing upon the reaction.
you keep walking away from your phone. No, that's what the train is making it do.
You know what? I'll come back and I'll come back in later.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. We got Brother Rojo here. Brother Rojo put
Oh, it's all
himself
good then, isn't
in
it?
hiding. He put himself in temporary hiding. Brother Rojo said, they're coming after me. That they're trying to make me lose my last breath.
I
Oh,
just want to say hey to everyone in the chat as well, and to you as well, Gareth, and to you, Roger. So I'll be back anyway.
all right, thank you. Thank you, Sister Chantel. Well, yeah, no worries. She's on the mean streets of London, from the mean streets.
Yeah, that's like the East Coast, the real New York. Because that well, now that's old York. You have New York, and then you have the mean streets of old York over there in England. But
Mm.
now I'd like to say shalom, shalom to you and to the chat. Hey, I was going to ask you, Harris, have you heard of that new movie coming out, The Book of Clarence, which is also telling a lot of truths about us?
Oh, I've seen the previews for it. I just haven't really. No, no. I really haven't had the energy to just like review stuff like that because I don't know. I'll catch it later. To me, I'll just catch it later. You
Let me
know.
tell you. Let me tell you what they're doing. These devils think they're slick. I mean, we've already known about the black Russian icons that shows the true history of the Bible and the true people of the Bible. Well, this producers of this movie is trying to turn that into a comedy skit. They're taking the actual, not the actual pictures, but the footage of the pictures, and they're really just going way left with it. These people
Well,
are
well,
revealing themselves.
Well, you have to remember every time that's just the playbook. That's always this playbook, right? They had to respond to the iconography because everything that they have to do, they have to demean and they have to demoralize and really try to desensitize because it's like, well, I saw that in the Book of Clarence movie and I thought that that was just fake. No, that was actually real. That's what they do. They do that all the time. So if you didn't think that that was the Book of Clarence, was not going to do that, that's why I just was like, I'm not really too keen on that. It was their response. They had to respond, right? If you have a movie like that in Hollywood here in the US, you know who controls that production. So then why am I going to see and listen to, lies that they're going to tell because they're going to have their whole narration of lies. I'm just saying if we, you know, I'm not going to really feed my energy into, listening to a lot of untruths and like 5% truth and then them demonizing the truth. They did that all the time. So why do we expect anything different? Why
And, and
go
the fu-
Yeah,
and
go
the
ahead.
funny thing, yeah, the funny thing about that is they haven't, from what I know, I mean, I could be wrong, but they haven't set a release date on it. And I think they're holding back on pulling the trigger on a release date because they know that that's going to actually, that I'm not going to say it will, but it could possibly send this nation in a instant uproar. I mean, everything is cooking up to an inevitable head anyway. But I think that the release of that movie would just expedite that, and it would be like one of those runaway bullet trains. You just won't be able to
Well,
stop it.
well, but yeah, so especially here in the West, right? You have to understand Christendom, Eurocentric Christianity, all these things, they're all being exposed for really what it is. And the whole problem that they've had was they were cool with their lies because you want to know why? Their lies really weren't costing them anything, right? They were gaining from their lies. Truth be told, so when we were waking up and we're explaining to them, hey, listen, you need to understand, you need to repent. Because why? Because we had to repent. Nobody got here and woke up and said, well, you know what? I'm the most uh 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 righteous person. No, no one. If you woke up and you thought that you're righteous after you had been awake and you didn't sit your behind down on that couch and start crying and start repenting for what your ancestors had done, then that's a problem. That should have been the natural reaction, especially if you are humble to the fact that we serve an awesome Father. But what a lot of these folks have done, they didn't care because they didn't realize that this calamity was going to be on them so quickly. We're explaining to them, listen, there is a time frame. We didn't set up the time frame. They did. Your people set up the time frame. So now that they're in that time frame, what are they gonna say? What are they gonna do? Go ahead, Rojo.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, I see in the chat that a couple of people are saying that Jay-Z produced the movie, and that's fine. They always these principalities, these devils, are always known to take people like us that look like us and turn us against each other. Look at Ava DuVernay, and look at our politicians. That they will use these voices and put their money behind
How
these voices and these
how
productions.
how did the slave trade work for those couple hundred years?
Yep,
They
getting people
gave
that.
favor. They gave favor to the Sambo class, and the Sambo class was able to control the rest. The 10% controlling the rest. Hey, you can make it like I made it. And why? It's the crab in the barrel routine. And they thought, this is what they thought. They thought that that was going to be sustained forever. And you realize every single time that our people are waking up, at every single moment that things are waking up, the gatekeeper's power is literally waning. They had to throw in gatekeepers with everything that we've been doing. Oh, well, this is stupid. Oh, this doesn't make any sense. And that doesn't make any sense. Okay, it's prophecy. Okay, it's prophecy. Prophecy's being fulfilled. Okay, Hananiah, and that's the thing. You can see the Hananiahs, and it's like, stay away from the Hananiahs, because why? The Hananiahs are gonna get killed. They're gonna get deleted.
Isn't that just like when Levi and I don't know, I don't want to say Reuben. I want to say Levi and somebody else. Who was it? That when they did, and I don't know if they did it to other Israelites or they did it to other nations, where they wanted to just completely get rid of the men, and they had them get circumcised as adults, and they had to take a longer healing process, and they
Oh,
just went in there.
oh yeah, where Shechem. It was the men of Shechem that tried to marry Dinah after they had R-worded Dinah. Um,
Oh,
and
okay.
and that's what's happened. And Jacob was like, okay, they're trying to make it right. It was yeah, it
I
was
mean,
Levi and Simeon, if I'm not mistaken, that
Simeon. That's
that perpetrated the fraud, and then they went through and they basically killed all the men of Shechem. And then Jacob
uh,
was like, "We got to get up on out of here because you cause shame on Israel." And they said, "Listen, we took revenge for your only daughter." And so, listen, there's a time like that. That's what the Most High does. He puts our enemies in a comfortable position. They're led off guard. And then when calamity hits, calamity hits. We can all see this. We can all see this. All we're just waiting on is for the Most High to pull the trigger. We're literally just waiting on the Most High to pull the trigger. And that's the trigger because why? I don't know about you, but when I eat food, I usually like to save the best for last. You know what I'm saying? I like to eat my salad before I eat the main dish. I have me an appetizer or two before I eat the main dish. You know what I'm saying? I savor that dish. You know, I savor that smell. I savor those tastes. I savor those morsels because when that dish finally gets to the table and it looks good and it smells good and the taste is good, then you're gonna savor every taste. This is what the Most High is doing to these nations. All these other nations that he's breaking off right now, those are just appetizers. Those are hors d'oeuvres. The Most High is about to get that grand course, and he is about to go in on it. That's
Well,
what's happening.
well, I'm gonna tell you, I think all these people, personally, I don't, but all these people who's getting their little turkeys, their little 20-pound turkeys and spiral ham with the bone in the middle, get that all honey glazed and ready, getting that dressing ready. And speaking of savor and enjoy it slowly, they better stretch that out for as long as they can because honestly, I don't see Christmas 2024. I
Well,
just, I
well,
just
you gotta remember shortly after this, what's going to end up happening is they're going to have to start raising gas prices because what will start happening is that when you hit January, February time frame, the weather gets bad. And when the weather gets bad, you're not going to produce as much. You're not going to. That's going to start producing or have an effect on oil come around, about March, April time frame with supply. But before it gets really bad, March, April time frame, what they do is they start to raise gas prices. So these gas prices right now, come in another 2 weeks, those gas prices are going to start to raise and raise and raise, and that's just because of the it's just the weather, right? Gas is the same as the weather. You can't really refine it as quickly as you want to because of weather conditions, and you don't know what type of storms are going to be there to knock out, you know, oil production, especially on out there in the Gulf. This is when you have your bad storms out in the Gulf because when you have the tropical moisture with the cold air, yeah, it produces some nasty stuff. Trust me. I know I was just out in that weather this Saturday on Shabbat, and my body's recovering from that. So who knows how bad these weather conditions will get? I'm not sure. But again, it's the Most High that does everything. So, if these volcanoes are erupting, if these frogs are going crazy in Honduras, which is on the other side of the Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean, here in Florida, look, you don't know what's going on. We don't know how this thing could work. We don't know how these folks are planning here in the United States. I mean, they've already told you that they had a coup effort, you know, less than 2 months ago. So you just don't know. We're literally in the throes of just the most craziest time that we've been in.
and you know
And
these W's. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
now go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, you know, these W's or WS's anyway are catching some major L's. I was wanting to share, but I just wasn't able to. I've been doing other stuff offline. I mean, as far as finance, my finances and everything, trying to get reestablished. What happened was that Dub S woman, she got a life sentence not far from where you are. I think it was in Georgia, I think, or South
Mhm.
Carolina. Yeah, yeah, they hit her
Yeah,
with several.
I think it was Georgia. I believe it was Georgia.
And they did not want that. And here's the thing that made it so beautiful, I guess. I mean, someone like me would go straight up the middle. Yeah, black justice, whatever, take down saying that publicly. The family took another approach. Now, that's not saying that's not what's on their hearts, but they took a softer approach with the whole thing. And then that legal process really, you know, brought as much as the hammer down on her as it possibly could have, because I think, somehow the spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh had hit that family to, let them know to be low key about how they really feel about it. Because if they do, it would go another way, and the woman probably would have got a slap on the wrist. But
Bingo.
because, yeah, exactly. So,
And we have to be very measured in what we say and what we do, because you understand, once you have the spotlight on you, they're trying to do anything and everything they can to destroy you. And but a lot of our people are also realizing that, it's not one thing to say that you are in captivity, right? But when you can actually see that you're in captivity, then what can you say? What can you say when you actually can see it? And that's what our people are seeing right now. Oh, well, that's not right. Well, of course it's not right. Because look at this, look at that. Look, it's interesting that with everything kicking off in the Middle East, it actually showed the folks over there how the world actually felt about them. And not only that, it actually showed, okay, what is the historical significance of what you have when you can't really place yourself in anywhere other than Europe? All these things, literally, it was a culmination of really the worst case scenarios for them. And all we could do was just sit there and see, like, wow. Remember, we had no type of planning, interaction, none of that. All we did was literally see the Most High move, and he moved tremendously. And that's why I always say, look, we don't have to worry about them. They're going to get their judgment. If you want to be an identity, look, a thief is a thief. I don't care about identity. I don't care about taking stuff. A thief is a thief. And what does the Most High do? He deals with them. And when they have to give things back, what happens? They got to give it back what? Sevenfold, tenfold, 100. Depends on how the Most High feels. But all we have to do is just keep it moving and let His word be true, because His word is true. It's going to accomplish every single thing that it was set to accomplish. Go ahead, Brother Mike. I know you've been on there for a minute. Go ahead.
Shalom, how you doing? How you brothers doing?
Shalom, Mike. I'm good, bro.
Shalom, Brother Mike.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at what's going on, they just keep on, what's the word? Rolling, pitching pennies until eventually, it's going to escalate to a degree. It's going to get out of their control. And just looking at the thing that's going on in the world and these warning shots or warning shot that they given, it's blatant, and and that's one thing that at least the Black community did not let go over their heads. For the ones that know exactly what they're looking at and how to interpret what they put on the movie screen. And now, what Rojo was talking about, that movie, Clarence, I can see that being kind of deceiving. And at the same time, I can see a little bit of gratitude where if you are looking at it, you seeing all of the disciples, the messiahs, and the people are black, of color, yeah, you feel a different way. But my thing is this: I'm like, they let this slide though. I mean, you already got the world, not necessarily just hinting. You have Gentiles saying who black people are, and you go push this here. That's just like another level, and for the world to see something of that slight magnitude can get them to start thinking. I mean, think about Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. That little small thing. Did they really expose that stuff? No, they didn't. They did not do it, the exposing. The powers that be did the exposing because they was coming against them. But when they came against them, they opened up a worm because everybody wanted to find out, hey, what is this Hebrews to Negroes movie? What is this? And things of that nature. They exposed it. You see how Yah used it against them? And so, I mean, that movie could be for that. And I can't necessarily say it is, but it can turn against them. It's how if Yah, it's just something how Yah used some of the small things against the nations. Over in that land over there, when they said it is illegal to do your DNA, what? That it raises questions with the locals, and not just the locals, but with the world. Everybody. Yeah. And so now, wait a minute. Why is it that these particular people came? It's against the law to do a DNA. You see how Yah used it against them? It literally worked against what they had put out. They're doing some dumb things and hemming themselves up. I just went through Teo, one of his old teachings, and it was talking about the Ark of the Covenant, returning Yah's Ark of the Covenant. But it was talking about the covenant, but it wasn't talking about the covenant. And for those that got kind of twisted in it, I knew what he was talking about. He was talking about us. And that was like a year ago, almost a year ago. And so, but when you look at it, you listen to what he's saying and how he interpret the scriptures, you see what he's talking about. From 70 CE, that was a time of Jacob's trouble. And if you go into Josephus' account and how Yah's spirit had left Jerusalem, it was like what they describe as a noisy train-like sound when his spirit left his people and was gone from 70 CE up until 2019. When he started turning his face towards his people. If you go into Genesis 15, did not the scripture said, what was the scripture say? That he will, during the fourth generation, he's going to call to judgment this nation. This nation is being judged. They can call, what? They have been talking about we breathing is a problem. Well, my thing is this. You be the first to stop breathing. You be the first to stop breathing so we can bring the carbon thing down. It's just that simple. They say there's too many people on the earth. You be the first to go in. Yes, sir.
It's just really quick. Do you know that? And you can look it up. We, Israel, all the 12 tribes, are the only group of people on the face of this earth, the only group of people that vibrate physically. Not even the Hemetics can say that. Anyway, I just thought I'd add that in there since we're talking about the whole climate breathing thing.
Well, I think I recognized that when Carrie was talking about the megahertz. And then because I started asking questions, I think Denz was on also, because I was like, man, what I mean, what is a 1619 megahertz? And they said that's something you just flat out cannot hear. You can't hear that. And I'm like, well, I mean, okay, but just looking at what we are contending with right now is the world. We're seeing how it's going, and it seems like things is kind of quiet, truthfully, from last week. And that was not the world. That was the world of the Hebrews breaking down that movie. That was like, it wasn't a commotion, but it was something that got our attention, and some of the Gentiles too, because they took one or two scenes where the black girl said you can't trust white people, and they was all in an uproar, and they missed the big picture or the meaning of what they were saying in that movie. But they stuck to that one thing. They stuck to that one little scene, and it just really offended them. That was an olive branch being given to them, and they did not see it. They did not take it that way. Yah always he always leave a door open for repentance. Karis, you just talked about this last week, that he right up to that time of destruction, he leaves a way out because Yah has a desire. I mean, there's a desire from a scriptural standpoint, not to destroy no one, for everyone to gain accurate knowledge of him. He has a desire that he nurses, that he wants all people to live. I mean, what else can you do? But when it gets to a point, you gotta let the person's hand go. When they keep on, you grabbing their hand, you dragging them because you want them to get life, and they holding on to the tree, they grabbing dirt, and they wearing you out. It's gonna come to a point where you gotta let that hand go in order to save yourself. Did not the angels do the same thing to Lot? Yeah, y'all moving too slow. Angels grabbed their hand. Hey, we got to roll. And they got about, they knew the destruction was right up on them. And they got up out of there. But for the ones that think that the United States is the promised land, you may end up like Lot's wife. You turn around and you will turn to a pile of salt. The scriptures clearly states what's going to happen to this place. Now, if you want to go on another type of Bible, whatever the situation may be, this is one thing about that. And that Mormon Bible, there's not a scripture in that Bible that speak about what was it in Timothy, where the scripture says that these scriptures are inspired of God? You would not find that scripture in the Mormon Bible. The book, rather. You would not find that in that book. But you got some brothers that, hey, the Indians are they got here in that way. I'm sorry. Yah's spirit does not allow me to listen to that. Don't get me wrong now. I have read it, listened to it, but then as we go on and on and on, Yah's spirit would gradually, this is not it. And when I say when his spirit comes upon you and lets you know this is not the book, you leave that book alone. You keep it moving. He said he's looking for individuals to worship him in spirit and truth. It's his spirit that's going to give you the truth. And that's the beauty of it. That's what I like about it. It's that spirit that we listen to.
Right. Let me turn this on back here because it
Hmm.
says Germany to permanently deploy troops for the first time since World War II. I don't know if a lot of people understand how big of a deal this is. This came out December 18th, yesterday. A new agreement between Germany and Lithuania will lead to German troops' first permanent foreign deployment since World War II. This announcement was made Monday in Lithuania, where Defense Minister Arvydas Anušauskas met with his German counterpart Boris Pistorius to outline a multi-year roadmap action plan involving approximately 4,800 permanently stationed German soldiers. Both officials called the move a historical moment, not just for their nations, but for NATO as well. Wow. Let me explain this to you all. Lithuania sits on the border of Russia in the Baltic states. Russians and Germans have really bad blood. That's what that's what you see. This east-west divide is in full force because technically Germans aren't even allowed to have any type of a forward presence outside of their country. All in a time where there was another article that was just on out there regarding German far right wins mayor election. Their far right ideology is coming back. Surprise, surprise, surprise. These aren't surprises. This is just letting you know what this place is in for.
Yeah, I
So
seen. I heard what's the guy, the prepper guy. He was talking about that. I'm like, man. I mean, since World War II.
yeah,
Mm. Yeah, I seen him talking about that.
Hey, brother Michael, let me expound on that. Um, brother Karras, if you remember, like almost a year ago to this day, I made a comment regarding that because I can't remember. There's something on the okay, you have Russia, you have Lithuania, and there's something on the other side of Lithuania that Russia was wanting to access. And what I said was that Russia wanted to get over there, to expand the war from that point. And Lithuania was like, hell no, you're not getting over here. And Lithuania is known for being a badass army. They're just highly trained, they're skilled. And Putin was like, you know what, it's not even worth dealing with you. I got bigger fish to fry. So that's when he started recruiting the Chechens to go down there and deal with the Lithuanians because of Germany mobilizing the military. I was talking about that. I had even had a couple of my videos taken down. That's why I gave up on doing stuff on YouTube because it gets taken down. Like it don't even make it past 4 hours. And I brought it up here, and I'm not gonna say people didn't believe me, but look at now today. It's right there on the paper.
Now
well,
they.
yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Karis. Go ahead.
well, now when you throw that on in there, let me make sure I I put this in the chat. I like to put these things in the chat because you have to show, the algorithm them folks. What we're saying is true because it comes from your sources. This is their sources. This is Newsweek. So what does that mean? That means that these folks are getting ready to fight. There's no turning back from this. They
Hmm.
already know what the provocations, the actions that's going to cause with Russia. Because why? Because listen, they already know Ukraine is basically done. They're just trying to throw everything that they can at Ukraine for the time that they can. so they can get ready to prepare themselves. Am I lying?
No, I think that's what it is.
100% facts.
Yeah.
Facts on facts.
You look at they just like Rojo was talking about. I would just happen to go through YouTube and I was looking at this brother. And his brother was complaining that they was demonetizing him and all that stuff. He said, "I don't know what I said," and things of that nature. And I went to another channel. Somebody was talking about the same thing. Truthfully, the people that make the calls, Karis, I don't think they here. I think those people already they jetted, they gone. Audi 5000, they left. They left the people here who may, all right, you know what? We're going to promote you to this position, and now we're going to pay you this amount of money. So now in his head, all he worried about is that money. I got a new position. I make more money. Oh yeah, we just need for you to really watch over these channels. Make sure they keep keeping themselves in order. And yes, they're going to do that. All the people that used to make the calls, I seriously believe those people are already gone. Oh, I'm serious, bro. I seriously believe that those people are already left. When that 40 billion came out of the banks, all those Gentiles jetted. They know this is about to go down. And you looking at Ukraine, it got pimped really bad.
Well, they made their money, didn't they? They've made their money.
Sister Chantel, you sound real low.
Do I sound low still?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yes, sis, you caught up in the matrix, sister.
Is that any better?
We can hear you, but you still low though.
Yeah, you really are, sis. We wouldn't lie to you.
Okay, I thought. Here we go. I don't know what to say.
No, go ahead. Just speak a little bit loud. That's all you got to do. Go ahead. We got you.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say. This is not worthy. Yeah. These people, they've been preparing for war. These people also, they've been making their money. I mean, war is a money maker for them as well. But they made their money 3 years ago. So what they made their money on, and it's like war and deletion. That's where they make their money. Now they're leaving because they know that America's done. I don't even feel that they're probably in the West either. I don't think they're in Europe. They're not in Africa. I don't know where they are. They could be in some, I don't know, that they could have gone to the North Pole or wherever.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, sis. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, some private island or the North Pole or the South Pole, whichever you want to look at it. But they're not in places that we don't think to look for them over here, except for other, well-off, like maybe your celebrities and stuff like that. But the higher ones, the ones that are literally pulling the strings behind the curtain, yeah, they're no longer in a place where people can get access to. They Pixie Dust said I sound like I'm in a cave. I'm sorry, I just flashed up. I was like, do I sound that bad?
You do.
Oh my gosh, okay, I'm really trying. I literally have the mic right up to my mouth. I'm like, if I'm not careful, you guys might hear the digestion just working overtime because I just finished eating, so I have to try and be a little bit moderate, but it's literally right to my lips. But yeah, these people, you're not going to find them anywhere. They're not going to be anywhere where, where normal people would hide out. And they're either on a private James Bond villain island, or they're,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, in one of those holes somewhere with their true masters. So yeah, they've gone with and the thing is, they don't even really need to take the money. I kind of feel they just emptied the money just to kind of, like, a middle finger up to everybody, to kind of, they're taking money out of the system to try and I don't know, put a big dent in in your monetary system. But they don't. These people, they're so high up, they don't actually need money. I'm sure they've never actually seen any money. These are the same people that can print money. Yes, Harry, I'm in my underground bunker. You all are going to perish. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. But that, I mean, that's this world for you. You know, um, we come here and we come out to encourage. It's and especially based upon the scriptures. We know what's happening. We know it's happening, and we know eventually what's going to happen on a grander scale. And these people, they do not think like us. We think about life. They're thinking about control, and if you don't do what I say, it's death. And that's their fleshly way of thinking. That's their fleshly way of thinking. And so now Jacob is on the move. Jacob is he's rising. And there's no falling back of Jacob. And so with that, yeah, I said there's only going to be one rulership. One. The Gentiles has had their chance in ruling. They've been blessed from, you're talking about what, 400 or 500 BCE up to this particular day. They have been ruling this world. When the Romans came in and did what they did to Jerusalem, they self-appointed themselves as people over the church. They took a holy day, the seventh day, and made it the first day. And then on top of that, they call it Easter. The Passover. Instead of the Passover, they called it Easter. This is what the Gentiles have done. They took our book, scrambled our book up, took books out just to keep us in the dark. We got to go back to Psalms 83. This is what it's going to take us back to. Well, they tried to literally bury our blood line till it was no more. And we seen what Yah said, although he was upset at us. He said, I will not totally leave my people Israel. And we are living witnesses to that. That also shows to them, you cannot kill off a people that are of Yah. It's just absolutely not going to happen. If we were totally abandoned by Yah, trust and believe, we would have been dead, our bloodline, a long time ago.
Oh,
A
for
long
real.
time ago. You know what I'm saying, Sister
Definitely.
Cynthia?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, that's much better.
Hallelujah. I just changed my headphones. Oh, I have to alternate these things. Yeah, I agree with you. If we weren't covered, that's why even in our curse, we had a mixture of mercy. We had mercy in there. They're not even going to have that. they're not. That's why it's going to be double. They're literally going to have double strength, you know. So yeah,
Well, Chantel, I don't know if I mean I think you might be a few years younger than me, than my generation, but brother Michael could definitely uh, identify with this. You remember how like when you were a kid and you did something really bad and you're gonna get it. You're gonna get that behind Torah and your parents are still doing whatever, having their company, barbecue and cooking, but they give you this look. And every now and then when you pass by 'em, they might
it's the look.
give you a little swat or do something, hit you with the belt one time, but you know that that's not the whole of the punishment you're going to get. You're going to get it. You're going to get tore up. But
I never got that one time hit though.
you never got that one time hit where
I
they,
never got that one time hit. Mine was plentiful. I was a naughty little girl.
well, no, that's what I'm talking about. The one time hit is just an appetizer for what you're going to get.
Oh yeah. Oh, I had plenty appetizers, man. I was full by the time my mom got around.
Yeah, that,
By the time it came, oof, yeah.
that one time hit, you're thinking that that's the whole of your punishment. So even whether it hurts or it don't hurt, you'll lay down and swarm around like a fish out of water, and saying to yourself, "Fool, that's it." And then after the guests leave and everything is settling around the house, they got that bell. Okay, baby, come on back.
Warm up whoopings, yes. The 40th room homestead. Yeah, man. Keep them up warm. Get that hand warm. Come here.
By the time that butt whooping was done, the Happy Days done played through, Three's Company done played through, and they take you to go to sleep. You're good and ready to go to sleep. In fact, as soon as they walk out the room and you hear the door shut, to me that's Obadiah in a nutshell. But
they're trying to run in the room and shut the door real quick. And the dad's hand goes in the door, pushes it on back, and then it's the terror on their face. The terror.
That's the one thing they never understood. They didn't understand that look. We all knew that look when your mother when you were messing up outside of the house and your mother gave you that look. Oh, it was a wait till we get home look. Because I ain't going to trouble you out on street, but wait till we get home. And you would, oh my gosh, you was on your best behavior. You tried to make the journey last long. Oh my gosh. I remember those ones. They don't know that, but they're starting to know that. I like what Brother Doug says. Stop smiling at them. That's the look. They understanding that look now. Now that we ain't smiling and we just giving them that look like we ain't trying to be around you because that lightning's going to hit you. So I'm not trying to stand near you when that lightning comes off. And when we just come...
Smile off your face.
That's right. That's right. Oh, man. Just, I love that brother. I love that brother, man. I'm telling you. Oh, and I love that. He's crazy. I love him. But I'm telling you, it's the truth, though. You stop. So I tested that out, and it's hard for me because I like to smile at people. I do have that resting face, though. I'm not gonna lie. But if I see somebody coming towards me, I automatically smile because I'm a friendly person. I'm not one of those people that like, what you looking at me like for, man? Just move. But I stopped smiling and the look on their faces, it was funny.
It's just you know what they're trying to do? What they want to do is they want to come and apologize for everything they've done to us, the Psalms 83, and then they want to they want to administer the punishment to themselves. So what they want to do is roll up their sleeves, show you their arm, pinch, twist their skin, and then scream and holler and say, look at that purple, blue, and black bruise on my arm. I paid for what I've done to you.
Well, I say, you know what? Let them try and punish themselves. I'll be like, well, that's you giving yourself appetizer because they think that it's like how are you going to think that you can punish yourselves. It's like what the police force does. I find that really weird. You feel you can punish yourself. I'll be like, okay, you do what you're doing, you do the most. And then when the Most High strikes you, then you're gonna understand. You're gonna know what it feels like to get that whooping. You're gonna know. You're
Well,
gonna know.
well, here in the United States, speaking of police, there's been a dramatic um, loss to the police force, and they're not able to even hire people anymore in the
Yes,
police.
I'm
That's
hearing.
now that is really incredible because let's just understand the notion, the idea of the police in the United States specifically. That was the offshoot of what you would have for slave patrol. And so now you have to understand it's not a benefit for them anymore. It's not deemed as, either lucrative or as empowering, right? In the really the white supremacist narrative to, be a police officer because now a lot of things that had been
Smiling,
that they
Karis.
could get away with, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things that they used to be able to get away with is now being scrutinized. And I mean, it's being heavily scrutinized all over the world. And
Mm.
not only that, in Chicago, they have, immigrants sleeping um, in the police
In front of
station,
the police station.
Oh,
Intense.
really?
which which
Okay.
which means which means is that like that's literally what they've done to them. They've actually, devalued them.
They're now babysitters.
Hmm. They
Yeah, but
become
then one of them got
devalued.
caught up though. Yeah.
One of what? Sorry.
Well, a few of them got caught up. They was sitting around here, call themselves dating some of the immigrants. To one of them came up pregnant, young girl. So yeah, they
Oh,
came down.
whoa. Sorry. One of the immigrant girls got pregnant. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, by a police officer.
Oh,
But she was messing with like a couple of them and things of that nature. So I mean, it hit the news and stuff, man. I mean, they got rid of them and things. But I mean, this with what they're doing here, what they're doing here,
well, you
they
know,
did
all
that
they're doing
nonsense in
is
Africa.
just changing the Slav class. I'm not going to put the e on the end. You know what I mean? They're just changing the class. They're flooding the country, but it's like they are now well, they're not going to be, not for long anyway, but they are going to be treated in the same manner as what we were treated. You're seeing them like these people. They can only be true to themselves. So if you're seeing, when you see stories like that, that's what they did to us, right? So it's like
Exactly.
you can't expect anything different. They're gonna be true to themselves. If they did that to us, and there's been no reform and there's been no repentance, and you haven't stopped, then you're going to do this to them, and then you've got these young girls
Well,
in the
well,
police station with them.
well, you have to remember though. Now, here's what a lot of people don't get when this happens to them, and compared to what happens to us. To them, they literally have a ambassador or some sort of a diplomatic mission here in the United States. And what that does, what people don't understand about these diplomatic missions and things of that nature, when things like that happens, America actually has to pay.
Mm,
And people don't realize that.
they
The,
don't.
the average American doesn't realize that. When you have a lot of these things that go on, see, for us, they don't have to do anything. But for them, they actually have to pay. And now you have
Yes.
countries. Now you have countries like Honduras, a couple of other like South American countries that are now joining BRICS, that are putting their applications in to to go with BRICS, because now the key to America's success has always been America's wealth.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
it. It's just been the wealth. That's been the key. We've empowered the wealth and we've given them the keys. That's literally how it goes. Now, what these nations are doing, they're understanding, well, America, all you have to do is take away the wealth. And that wealth is actually being taken away right now because what America did was they sanctioned themselves or created so many sanctions that they literally took everybody out the game. If you don't like it, I'm just going to take my ball and go home. Okay, fine, take your ball. These other nations just went and got another ball.
Mm.
For
And
a
it's
You
matter
know,
of
it's
fact,
what Cynthia. It's what Cynthia just said. Remember the Hispanic woman in the movie, and you notice how he at first he kind of listened and was just trying to brush her off. All he wanted to do was just get rid of her until he just outright ignored her, and that's
mhm,
exactly what we see them doing. You
yeah.
know.
And so when people try to act like, well, they came on over here and things of that nature. Well, yeah, they did, but think about the destabilization operations that came from us. And a lot of folks don't like to admit that here in the United States. And they'll tell you, no, we had to come on over because you all did this, this, and this. And it was sponsored by this, this, and this. And this three-letter agency did this, this, and this that you all didn't want to confess to. So you only saw that, and it was more notable because you have the Nordic, the Nord Stream, which affects European nations,
Mm.
right? So the Nord Stream event happened, and that was more of the, no kidding. Well, people need to pay attention to the Nord Stream. Well, imagine you had that type of sabotage going on all the time in those South American countries.
Hmm. Pay
And,
attention to Nord
and
Stream, but
they,
don't look south to what they're
don't
doing in
don't look at what's
Nigeria.
going on in Nicaragua. Don't look at what's going on in Honduras. Don't look at what's going on in El Salvador. Don't look at what's going on in Panama. Don't you see what I'm saying? And so, that's where we have to understand that these nations now they see an alternative. That alternative is called the BRICS dollar. That BRICS dollar, BRICS currency, the BRI, whatever they want to call it, that goes into effect in less than 2 weeks.
mm,
This is literally the turnaround, right? In order for any global mass military operation to ensue, well, what needs to happen? There has to be a medium of exchange that's going to still be able to facilitate global trade outside of the dollar.
but let me ask you something, Karis. What do you think will happen at the stroke of midnight, January 1st, when it comes to the dollar and
Well,
BRICS?
okay, so at the stroke of midnight, I think really you're going to see a lot of the after banking operations start to go crazy. The commercial operations won't go. They'll just try their best that everything will be normal and normalized. You'll start seeing some losses in stocks, right? So the
Hmm.
stock gains won't be as profound. They'll just say, well, it's corrections. It was bound to happen, and we're having to correct for some some of these. They will call it anomalous events. They'll call it anomalous events. But you're gonna start to see more of the Asian markets begin to kind of tail off because a lot of the Asian markets are still they're still aligned to that US dollar market. Now, the cost of goods will become a lot um, more expensive. That's what's going to happen for imported items. For imported items. So what will end up happening is you're going to see a lot more shortages. Those shortages will probably hit, I would say, probably in about 3 or 4 months. Because when they get to the shelves, the logistics process and things of that nature, and when they get to
Mhm.
the actual items, guess what's going to happen? Naturally, folks will not want to go for those goods that are imported. They're going to go for the substitutes. And those substitutes are going to be, American made, if you can find them, made in America, because of how, you know, manufacturing has just been depleted. Now they're trying their best. If you look on LinkedIn, there's always like some sort of manufacturing, project or project engineer or there's now something that they're trying to get things back into the market, those inputs. But it's just a bit too late. It really is a bit too late because for the most part, it's always going to be how can we negotiate, even in the BRICS dollar. And here's the thing: that's going to be a hard um, negotiation. That's not going to really be in the favor of the United States, especially when you are able to peg that dollar to gold.
Mm. Okay.
I have a name. I have a new name for the system that's coming. The beast. We can call them the totalitarians.
the toes, the
Yeah,
toes
the
totalitarian.
yeah, the totalitarians.
I have a caution for people because I'm there. I won't call out the names in the chat, but a couple of comments were made, and it kind of just wears thin on me when I see this kind of stuff. To those who saying that, you know, we got to come together. It's not the common man; it's the elites or deep state or whatever. Y'all got to remember, everything has always been aligned against Judah, Israel, FBA, always,
Yeah.
and
They listen, listen. When they try to sell you, and I think our people here, especially that listen to this channel, that's been on this channel, that understand it. I think we're a little bit more sophisticated. That that hey, we're all going to come together type of thing. Well, let me just tell you, what has history proven?
Every time we come
You know what,
together,
you know what I'm saying? Look. I listen. Whatever narrative you try to bring on in here, you destroy it because guess what? It's been you all that destroy the narrative.
yep.
So no, we're not going to be bamboozled in that. Now, are you all afraid? Yes, because you don't have that narrative anymore that we are just going to eat up on to say, oh, you know what? We need to help everybody, and then we
it's too late.
get screwed. No.
The time to do that. The time it was always going to happen, but you could have. Look, the reaction is you're feeling it now. We've been feeling this heat
Oh yeah,
for
no. Black
hundreds
folks.
of years
Let me tell you, black folks are going to be okay. Oh
because
no, no,
we
no.
our
Oh no,
skin
no,
is
no.
tough.
No, black folks are going to be okay. Look, it's not the fact that, well, we're all here, we're all in America. No, no, no. It's the fact of this. We've been surviving this without you all. And guess what
Hmm.
we'll do? We'll be the ones that are going to be able to provide any substitutes and things of that nature. Because guess what? Because we already do it now. And we've already been planning on this. See, they haven't been planning on this. And what they're going to do is they're going to see that we're doing something. And of course, they're going to try to do what they've done. But now,
Still kill and destroy or copy what we do.
yep. But now, here we go. We're going to be okay.
You're not going to prosper in that, so don't even try it. You want
But no,
all.
I'm not gonna say, and just to bring a receipt, since they like to say, well, y'all got to show proof. I can bring you a receipt of all this talk and where we have tried to, not only in the '80s, in the late 90s, but let's go way back into the 1700s. Get the book Bacon's Rebellion. If you ever want to go by a playbook of what not to do, if you're Judah, Israel, FBA, pick up that book, please, and read it. I urge everyone to do that.
Look, Roger, I'm going to say this to you. Yeah, this ain't at you. This ain't at you. But I want to ease your the burdens that you put on yourself, as with all of us. Because listen, that film really opened my eyes. I mean, I knew this already, but it really opened my eyes. She turned around and said, an agreed upon mass illusion. They know. You
Yes,
don't need to teach them their history. They know it.
they know. They just
You
ignore it.
telling exactly.
They just
You
ignore it.
telling them receipts don't mean nothing to them. You
Yep.
can look what happened with the ship. Oh, do you think
Hmm.
we should leave? The ship had to be right in front of their faces. We've been screaming this. They know the history. They know. They know. They know. Just same way they know over here as well. This country. Oh my gosh, the people, the Brits, the English over here, they're worse than you guys over there.
Hmm.
They I don't listen. They go on like as if, oh, we don't know what's going on. Oh no, we're not part of that. The I can't even put words to it. But let me say this: they know you're not educating them on anything. And quite frankly, I'm sick and tired. And I'm talking to all of us, for all of us. I am sick and tired of us having to constantly spoon feed these people. You want to know? Go open a flipping book yourself.
Well, that requires them to do too much to open
Well,
the
I
book.
don't care.
That
Then
it,
die in ignorance.
well, but you understand, but that's literally what that's what that's saying is, right? And it's not just the concept of dying in ignorance. It's a concept of, look, they're about to get taken over. See, what you have to understand is that when you take over an empire, we're not just talking about a simple, world war. We're not talking about a simple, series of kinetic strikes that you would see in like the Middle East. No, we're actually talking about a campaign that, in my opinion, that campaign started back in about 2015, 16, and 17 with things and actions against not just the Russians, but also the Chinese. And also that started with BRICS. I mean, if you really want to be honest, it started in 2001. That
Mm.
started in 2001, if you really want to be honest. And now the culmination of BRICS to now BRICS Plus to now, everybody's joining the BRICS system, and now you have a literal contender of the reserve currency, right? When you take down something like this, and it's not the fact that you're just taking down a country, you're actually taking down an ideology, you're actually taking down a religion. That's really what it is. You're taking down a religion. You're taking down, the vanity of white supremacy. That
Mm.
is the religion. That's the scope of it. Oh, well, we're gonna go to hell, or we're gonna be in this, right? All the paradigms that they try to provide, all of these type of allegorical illusories of, well, if we go down, the world is gonna be this and be that. And it's like, well, no, actually, believe it or not, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that follows. Look, it's prophetic. Look, we had to do our time here in Babylon. It's prophetic. This is why these folks are dreaming about these blue helmets. It's prophetic. Because why? Because the Most High said that this place was going to be invaded. It's prophetic. It's prophecy. Why is that? Because now these nations are done with drinking the cup of wrath. They've now sobered up.
But Karis, when I said die, I don't. Everything. I always see it as we went through. All these curses that were on us will be on you. The Most High said He's going to utterly destroy us. Now that didn't necessarily mean I'm going to wipe you off the face of the earth. I'm going to literally
Mhm.
make sure that you no longer exist. I'm talking about in the capacity in which you are a nation. When I say die, I mean just the same way we were spiritually dead and we didn't even know what we had done. That's
Mhm.
worse. What do they say? Give me liberty or give me. So for them to lose their freedoms, we know that WS is an expression of their freedoms. To lose that is like it's basically for them. It's deletion for them. They're feeling what they're feeling, and they don't. We're not even there. These are warning shots.
Yeah.
These are warning shots. This is why I said they flocked together. They understood what they saw when they watched that, just the same way we did. They understood. You didn't notice, you didn't see, you didn't hear Hispanics cussing about why'd you leave that woman.
No.
You didn't
No.
hear Asians talking about, oh, why you trying to stereotype us in the film, or the Muslims as well. You didn't hear this. It was simply us and them, and they understood it
Mhm.
just as we did. But
Mm.
what did they do? Like I was trying to say, we internalize it and we start to, okay, what do we need to do? And we come together, and for the most part, if we're not, those of us who are awakened, we're praying and so on and so forth, but the rest of us, we might not be praying, but we come together and we try to find unity and so on and so forth. With them, just like the daughter said, and it's so funny because the daughter said it and they literally reacted exactly how she said. You cannot trust them, because what do? You react externally instead of internally and saying, okay, so why would you say this? And notice she didn't say only them. She said everybody. You can't dole out trust to everybody. That also includes our own people, right? She said that, but then she said, especially them. And they got upset. And I'm like, do you not know your history? Now, of course, like I said, I know they know their history, but it's a form of transference. They don't want to deal with it. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of dealing with it, they externalize it and look for somebody else to blame. And
Mm-hmm.
they reacted like a school of fish who instinctively know that we're going to go in that direction, and they just all go in that same direction instinctively. Just like when you watch a flock of birds, they literally just fly universally together and change and shift. That's what they do. That's what they've done. That's what that was.
Yeah, yeah. We got to get up on out of here. And where were they going to go into? They were literally going to go right into destruction with the rest of the white Teslas. I mean, for real. That's that was on the movie. And but that's them. But that's them. And listen, there are some Gentiles that have seen this. And with those Gentiles that have seen that, some of them have realized, oh man, there's some things I need to look at. There's some things that I need to really understand in myself of, what it is that I'm doing. See, no, you don't know if you're doing wrong unless somebody tells you you're doing wrong. We've been saying that I've been saying that here on this channel for literally the last 3.5 years. I said, look, it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad because why? Because the whole world sees you. Don't think that this was something new on this channel. I've already said it. The whole world sees what's happening to us. And guess what? Now they're getting the pretext. Now they're getting the pretext. They already have the pretext. Oh, why do we need to fight America and all those proxy forces with America? Because of this, and this, because of X, Y, and Z, because of what they do here, and here. I said this on this channel years ago. The more that they do against us right now, after that 400 years, the more that they were doing against us was the more that the nations were building their case against America.
Exactly.
And I've said it, and now here we are. There has to be what? There has to be some sort of a moral.
You did say that they could have come in
I,
on a humanitarian, moral. Yeah,
I said that. Listen,
you did.
I've always said that you have to have the moral high ground on any type of an invasion, right? Because why? That's the exact same thing that the U.S. would always do. Hey, we did this because we got to save the people of Iraq. We did this because we had to save them from this dictator. We did that because look of this humanitarian crisis. And now everybody sees there's a humanitarian crisis. No, it hasn't stopped just because it's no longer as televised. No, it hasn't stopped because the algorithm is able to kind of chase down things via, that's posted in TikTok or Facebook Messenger or Instagram. No, it hasn't stopped because, there's now policies regarding videotaping of police officers that, so the world doesn't see the atrocities. No, they already understand it. And now that's already here.
They know full well. They, they've always known. Even when the world didn't know, they know. They knew. When you look at the old black and white videos of what they've done, the hosing down, the police dogs, the articles, read some. They know all of this. They know their history. So, like I said, it's not our job to teach you.
Well,
We've been calling you. Well, yeah, I agree. I know you're going to say it is, but not on this. Not on this. They know.
Listen, it's our job to speak up until the time of the end, right?
Right. That's
And
what I meant to say. Yeah.
that's the time of the and now we're looking at the time of their end, because our end of captivity is their end. That's what they're mad about. They're mad about now that the nations that the continent is asking for their sons and daughters to come back. They're mad at the fact that you have Ghana holding a reparations conference that's now going to go up to the African Union for the African Union to demand reparations, not just for the African continent, but for all those in the diaspora as well. They look, because why? Because the thief always has to pay. If that wasn't the case, then guess what? The Most High would be a liar. If the Most High is a liar, then guess what? Then we don't serve then the Father isn't who he is. And that's not the case. Look, look, the Most High doesn't lie. He just doesn't. And that's what they're afraid of, because they have to be held accountable. That's all that is. You're going to be held accountable, and there's accountability in all this. Sorry that the lot fell on your generation. That's between you and the Most High.
It's
But
the
you
pride
have
as well.
it is a pride, because why? Because they never had to have anybody tell them that's not a good idea. They've never had to have that. Hey, you're going to run into destruction. Oh no, we're this, we're that. Why? Because the Pope says so. the TBN said so. What? Joel Osteen said so.
All I keep hearing is America. That's all I heard in my head just then.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sing the rest of
Yeah,
it.
but you understand. But that is really now the trap that was laid, and they fell into that trap. The trap is a trap of vanity. Vanity is a trap. And they can't see their trap that's been laid in front of them. Everybody's telling them you're running to the cliff. You're running to the ledge. You're going to fall in to the cliff. You're going to fall in to the ledge. Everybody's yelling for them to stop.
Well, they don't think they're gonna drop their Batman in it. They can scale the cliff.
Yeah. Well, but you know what? The sad thing is, they're gonna run right into that cliff. They're falling right into that cliff. They're falling
Mm.
right off into the rocks.
And the thing I think that also there's a lot of things in that film that kind of disturbs them. I think it was the fact that here, deep down, I know they must know that there's no way we trust them. I know they must know that there's no way that the native Indians trust them, or that the Asians trust them. I know there's no way. You've done what you've done, but to hear it coming from us must have really hurt them.
Well,
I
no,
think
I to be honest, I think what really hurt them was when Kevin Bacon's character had said, we made a lot of enemies around the world.
yes,
That's what
yes,
hurt them because you got to remember they think that they don't do anything. They
and it
think, and
also
I've
puts
seen
them in
this,
the
and
fact
I've
that they're
seen this,
alone.
I've seen this, been in the military, I've seen this, and I've seen how they acted, and I've seen how they reacted. And honestly, I looked at that and I was like, yeah, I said, this is going to be bad. I said, when they go through their judgment, it's going to be bad because I've understood. I've understood the pride that they had. And that is really, when they have to take account of that and they have to actually take a look and they're hearing it from another white person. That's why I said, look, it's not going to be heard from them, but when they're hearing it from another white person,
Mm,
and that's what it was. They heard it from not just the Julia Roberts character, but also the Kevin Bacon character, and also the Ethan Hawke character.
yeah, I'm useless.
Yeah, when
That probably stuck.
When Kevin Bacon said that, he just like, all right, we're gonna put the mayonnaise on the sandwich, and y'all gonna know I'm telling the truth. He put it on there, and
Well,
that's how, now when he said, hey, we made a lot of enemies because they know the history. They know their history. They know it down to a T. A lot of them is still, some of them caught up in La La Land because once they left that beach, when they had the ship coming there, oh, a Starbucks. That's the thing that got me to laugh. And I'm like, they just left that moment. And all of a sudden, they looking over
Let's go
to
back
the
to
right, and they see
normal.
they looking for they find a Starbucks. So I mean, but this is what I mean. Well, truthfully, this is how
Hey,
they.
hey, hey, hey,
Uh-huh.
brother Mike. Starbucks makes everything all better. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't need listen. If they had a coupon to go into a cage and get a free Starbucks drink, they get that drink and they go right into the cage.
Yeah, they gonna think that's oh man, that's gonna be that's it's something how this world have put them in a mindset of you'll never see morning. That's the mindset that they was fed.
Mike,
They was fed that. Hmm.
Think about it. Think about where the girl went, and remember what Kevin Bacon's character has said to go up to the thorns, right? Where there was a bunker. And remember, they said they had to get to the thorns. They got to get to the bunkers.
Yeah. Hmm. They're throwing. Yeah, he
Let
gets a. Yeah,
let me
they got money. They built a bunker.
now think about this. That bunker was their captivity. And they're literally saying they're going to race to get into their captivity because they think that their captivity is going to be comfortable.
Mm,
Had anybody thought about that? Their captivity is going to be comfortable in the bunker
The bunker
until
with
so
cages.
everything runs out. And then guess what? Let everything run out.
You in that bunker with no food to eat. Mm.
What else is left to eat? Just saying.
Well,
No water.
when you get tired of eating each other,
Ah,
that last person standing is going to venture out the bunker, and then guess what? They're going to go right into that physical captivity.
now what did our people go through? I mean,
Exactly the
what they
same
was eating
thing.
on they was our people was eating on their own you know afterbirth, and they was fighting over
Yeah,
that.
Mike. And that's exact. Oh my gosh, yes, the similarities. Because there was a lot of our people did not want to leave when a lot of our people remembered the prophecy that Yahusha said, and they
Yes.
left. And a lot of people didn't want to leave. What did they do? They went into their bunker. That's what the temple was. They thought, oh, the temple, the Most High will never, the temple would never be destroyed. We're safe here. These people would never be able to touch. And that's what they thought as well. That's what she thought. That's what they thought
Mhm.
when they were trying to get to the bunker. Yeah.
All they gotta
And then
do
they
is go
ended
back
up
and read the
eating.
history books. And but this you talking about? I mean, I can't imagine anything worse than that. That's just me now. Eating the afterbirth of a child and all that stuff.
That's
I can't now. But
uh,
y'all said
Michael.
it's going to be on
Not too long
them.
ago, 8. Just I'm
Mm.
just letting you know. So if you hear something, if you hear me hurling, then you'll know.
But I mean, hey, this is what we went through,
If you
and
keep
now
talking, I'm going to remove the headphones out of my ears because my stomach's starting to feel a bit.
but I'm just saying how y'all said it's going to be put up on them double. And
Mm,
Yeah.
so I mean that's I mean like I said I can't even I cannot imagine it. I know I can look at old pictures and how our forefathers was hanging from trees and things of that nature, you know. Um, but I'm seeing this little captivity already starting. I'm seeing that already. I mean,
mm.
I mean the way they moving these kids around, that's coming into this country and things. I don't think they understand the gravity of what's going on.
No.
And then, and at the same time, your heart goes out for them. I mean, but hey, your hand can only go so far. You can't save the world. Mm.
Hey,
Ah,
It's,
Mike,
yes,
it,
sir.
I
it's
think
a tough one.
I think that's going to be the hardest thing is the children, especially the little ones. And as much as I look, we know, yeah, this is your judgment, but
Wait a second. Wait a
truth,
second. Wait a second. Here's the thing. Remember the white guy that was saying that on like TikTok or saying it's like, hey, I'll take your kids and and this and that and that and
Yeah.
all the
Mhm.
craziness. Now here's the problem. Here's the problem. This is what I think. This is what I believe. This may not sound very good to the algorithm, especially for some of the Gentiles that are in here.
I already know what you're going to say.
You already know I'm gonna go with this shit.
Yeah, I do.
I believe that the kids, just as they did with us, is going to be done to them.
Exactly.
Mm,
And they'll be scattered throughout the world.
Yes.
And it's and
yeah,
and that's the worst. And that's the worst feeling for them. That eats them up. That's sick to their stomach to understand that their child will potentially go into captivity
Never see him again.
and they'll never be seen again. And guess what? It's a separation. Why? You got to take the children.
can I
Separate.
can I just can
And
I
it's not even
just
going to be the women and children. It's not going to be the women and children. You separate the children.
mm,
All the adults are going to be staying here.
yeah, I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabaeans, to a people far off, for Yahuwah hath spoken it.
That's the Most High that says it. Yah has said it.
Right.
Mm.
There ain't no getting out of that. That's why I said it's a hard
But but
thing.
maybe that's because we have the compassion to take the kids
I was
because you don't
just
know
about to
because
say
you don't know
that.
what they may try to do, how they may try to, you know, you don't know. You do not know.
Please take my Timmy, take my
Care,
Jonathan, please take my child. They may even beg for us to take their children.
I know they're gonna be begging. I mean, begging is not even on the bargaining. Begging is gonna be out there. It's gonna be tears and all.
Karis, the one thing I want to say, and I hate to sound cold about this, but it won't it be something to remove their fathers, their protectors from the home and from the reach of their families, like they did to us.
They've already started to do that. They've already started that. Why do you think their divorce rates are the highest ever? Why do you think that they're coming in with, the masculinity replacing femininity?
Hmm.
What
They
they're
had it in the movie.
they've already have done that. They're primed to be destroyed. I had already said that a couple of months ago. This is the prime. They're primed for destruction. Because
Mm,
why? Because their social base has eroded. There is no social base anymore. Because why? You can see it on their faces. They are a senseless people. You go to the store, you see all the craziness that they do, all the stuff that they're wrapped into, all the fantasy that they like to play with genders and gender roles and all this other stuff.
Hmm.
Now
can
they're
I?
primed for destruction. It wasn't a case of if, it was always going to be when, and
And
now you see it. Now do you understand why the Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin was in the Eastern Mediterranean, that nation in the Eastern Mediterranean,
mm,
because that nation in the Eastern Mediterranean had basically told Lebanon that they're getting ready to go into Lebanon. They don't have the manpower to go into Lebanon and Hamas. They're already getting their behinds beat by Hamas. They just don't want to tell you that. So then, who do you think is going to go in if the Secretary of Defense is there? That's going to be our people. Our ships are there. That's going to be our people. But guess what else is there? Them hypersonic missiles.
Hmm.
praying for
Now because now think about this. Think about that psyche when you see your glorious aircraft carrier being reduced to a coral reef starter kit.
Ooh,
coral reef starter kit. That's too much. The
I,
imagery that runs in your head, I just
I mean, think about that. There's going to be a lot of long faces.
Hey, that's why I say either you can be a servant, or you can be a slave. I mean,
exactly.
if you saying you're paying attention to the scriptures, and you know you got Gentiles on this channel, now whether they want to believe it or not, that remains to be seen.
Well, the
But you
Most
go have.
High says His
Mhm.
word doesn't come out void. So, when you finish, Michael, I wanted to read something. It's just like a few verses,
Now go ahead,
and
sis.
this is for the Gentiles that are listening, because this is what's coming. Because if, like you said, Karis, if they are going to be separated from their children, this is what it says. It says, I mean, Psalms. We've read this so many times, but the impact of what you were saying. Psalms 109, verse 7. It says, "When he shall be judged, let him be condemned, and let his prayer become sin."
Mm.
Let his days be few, and let another take his office. Let his children be fatherless, and let his wife a widow. Let his children be continually vagabonds and beg. Let them seek their bread also out of their desolate places. Let the extortioner catch all that he hath, and let the strangers spoil his labor. Let there be none to extend mercy unto him, neither let there be any to favor his fatherless children. Let his posterity, be cut off, and in the generation following, let their name be blotted out. Let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered with Yahuwah, and let the sin of his mother be blotted out. And some people forget the mother, because you need to also remember, what did they do? What did these women historically do? So all of them are catching this. Repent of the sins of your fathers. You won't know what to repent for if you don't
Mhm.
actually know what you're repenting for. You don't know what you don't know until you know what you don't know.
And and here's a crazy fact for them. The Most High is still giving them time to repent.
Exactly. That's why we said it's warning shots.
How awesome is our Heavenly Father? Now, if it was any of us that wear
Ah,
this flesh suit in our community,
you lot will be lost.
you know how that goes with some of our people.
We just be petty.
And that's why, look, the Most High is incredible because we have flaws. We all have flaws.
Mm.
But the Most High literally is giving them the opportunity to repent. They still have time. That is, if for Gentiles that's in here, if for anything that you see here, you may hear. I pray that honestly that you get convicted, that the Most High convicts you, that the Ruach Hakodesh convicts you to repent. What you're going to get at your services is, uh, come next Sunday, is going to be some nice fable of what did not go on for Christmas, celebrating Tammuz and everything else. Horus, watch Truth Unedited, he'll let you know. You can either get engrossed in that or get on your knees and ask the Most High to forgive you. The choice is yours. And here's the thing, the Most High always gives a choice.
There's a glimmer of hope as well. It's literally in Matthew 25,
Mm-hmm.
verse 32. And before him shall be gathered all nations.
All
And
nations.
yes, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on his left. Now, church always taught us it was the naughty people from the good people. No, that's not what this is talking about. Then shall the king say unto them, which is Yahusha, not Yahuwah, Yahusha. The king shall say unto them on his right hand, come ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. See, the thing is, right, we think that this is talking about us. This, I was literally reading it and going through this. I don't think this is talking about us. I think it's literally because he says that he says, for I was a hungered, verse 35. For I was a hungered, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came unto me. Then the righteous answered him, saying, Yahuwah, When saw we a hungered and fed thee, thirsty and gave you drink? When saw we thee in a stranger and took thee in, naked and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily, I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least. Who is the least in this world? The least of these, my brethren. Why his brethren? He's talking about us. He's using us an example on judging them. He's saying, I'm holding you, I'm going to judge you based on how you treated the least of these, my brethren, because he is our kinsman redeemer. This ain't talking about us. He's not standing, he's not judging us. He's judging the nations. The nations are assembled, and he's going to separate those that were righteous and those that were wicked to his people. And he will say, I'm judging you based on, did you feed them? Did you give them water to drink? When they were hungry, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you visit them when they were in prison? Did you do these things? Did you want to pay them? No. When slavery was done, what did you do? You turfed them out. They had nothing. Where was you? What did you do? How many of you are going to be able to stand? It's not us that's going to be judged. It's you, based on how you treated the least of his brethren. We are his kinsmen. He's going to be judging you based on how you treated us. So if you want to, even if you don't make it through this, if you want to make it into, I don't know whether it's heaven or whatever, but if you want to make it somewhere, you better make sure you start doing what's right and stop running away from and calling things CRT. This is what it says. Go and read it and study it.
Well, everybody, for the most part, they'll read everything else. They'll read Stephen King novels. But when it comes to reading the word, they act like they don't know how to read.
They really
Reading
don't
comprehension
know.
fails.
It's astounding, actually.
They act dyslexic. I have a learning disability. When it comes to me reading the word, I'm still learning how to read the word. What
Karis,
didn't you just put out that? What you just reading that owner's manual? They'll read what how they need to get their lawnmower started.
Karis, even just reading this, you've got Yahusha himself saying, if they hated me, they're gonna hate you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know who his people are, who is the least in the world? Who does everybody poop on in the world? Excuse me. Trying to be, you know.
Let me get in, brother Michael. Yeah, so I'm only gonna leave this up. If y'all want to say something at 10 a.m., I'm shutting down the phone lines, and because we're going to final thoughts. So, brother Mike, you're on mute. Shalom.
Shalom,
Hey,
fam. Shalom.
is another mic on the line?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead, bro.
Hey, man. So we have like our family from the UK in the chat. I just had a couple questions because I've been doing a little research on like history, because American history kind of cloudy. But I know, by checking immigration paperwork and things of that manner, that I am a Black European from Ireland and Scotland on different sides of my family, and the scandal of the taking of the crown from King James and the history of shipping the Irish to the islands and to America, and the Scottish getting banished to the America, because America is nothing but an open air prison. And I was trying to see if she know about that history, because when I look for that type of history, it is very hidden.
Yeah, there's a lot of the Scottish. They shipped off. They shipped a lot of people to Jamaica. That's why you'll find a lot of Jamaicans have the name McGregor or Mac this or Mac that or Murray. But yeah, and I think there's a island in the Caribbean which is begins with an M. I can't remember what it's called. I'm sorry, I completely
Mazarak,
forgot. What's that?
Mazarak, the one with the volcano in it.
Yeah. Yes. I
Yeah,
know it's the one with the volcano. Yeah. But oh yeah, they did a lot over here, and they hid a lot. I mean, even Sister Gates Holder, she basically brought that out as well. And yeah, a lot of people have brought that out or shown. I think Benea did that as well. I think even Pastor Kelly, I think even TCA brought that out. So there's a lot of people that actually can I actually still say his name? Is it forbidden? I'm not trying to, I know some people get triggered, but yeah, a lot of people have brought that out. So there's more of a connection. I mean, some people don't realize how much there's a connection between us from the Caribbean with you guys, because a lot of you was actually Montserrat. That's it. A lot of you was actually shipped from America to the Caribbean to go to the sweatbox as a punishment when you were acting up. Nobody wanted to be in the Caribbean.
Mm-mm.
Nobody wanted to be in the Caribbean, but that's where they sent the unruly, quote unquote, unruly slaves. So,
And not only
I
that,
think
brother, sorry, Chantel, just to add to that, brother, Mike, if you look up when way back in the day, I forget the century, I want to say 12th or 13th or 14th century, when the Greeks went over there and because they were all speaking Latin back then, so I just want to set a baseline on that. When it went over there to the UK area, what's known as the UK, they said that the people that they found there were Scotios. And if you look up the word Scotios, it means black or dark in color. And just to add to that, Marcus Garvey, he's the one who started the Pan African colors, and green represented the UK because he knew the history of that area over there.
mm,
because one of the reasons I think it's kind of very important, because when we speak about reparation, I know everybody think America gonna give us reparation. America don't have no reparation to give nobody. It's a vassal state of the UK. It's been broke forever. It's just open air prison for real. But the UK has the money. The UK.
Well, actually, let me tell you that it actually goes deeper. UK is actually a vassal state of Rome.
Rome.
Rome has the
Yeah.
money.
All roads lead back to Rome.
Mm-hmm.
But this is why I'm going to say this, yeah. Please stop using, Rojo, the term FBA. I really can't stand it. I do understand why you use it, and I agree with you to, it really does make me sick to my stomach when I see people who, other Israelites who come in and just, I know what they're doing. Like I said, they do the same thing over here. Some from the West Indies who came over just now, and from Africa, when they come over just now, it's like they think that they're better than us, and they use what we fought for, because we had the same kind of things. May not have been as big as yours, but they do everything you guys have gone through. We've gone through. It's exactly the same thing.
So we'll do this branding, okay? We're FBA, you're FBB.
No, we're not doing that. We're just Yasharel. We're just Yasharel.
I'm with Sister Chantel.
Because
man.
if we're gonna say that, yeah, here we're gonna say you need to understand. You need to understand something, right? All those. I know Abin, I know MIL, and I know I know privacy. All the UK, they will tell you we've been paying back reparations for these slave masters,
Hmm.
right? We've been paying that
Well,
up until
technically,
2050, our tax
we've been
money.
paying it. Technically, we've been paying it too, because if you understand where our tax money goes to, our tax money actually goes to the UK. Proxy, the Federal Reserve, but it is UK.
Well, then there you go. All I'm saying is that all this FBA and division, it's just more division. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
and justice is justice. You know, colonization was a worldwide event. Everybody on the
No, I,
planet
I
has
feel.
been.
Okay, what just happened? Did I
Yeah,
cut off?
yeah, you gone in, gone out.
Oh, sorry.
No, Sister Chantel, I feel you on that. I'll work on that, because at the end of the day, we are all Israel, and I mean, I just think that here on the ground, we just do it. I'll keep it out of your ears, but we just do it because over here, so many people come over here and they cosplay with our skin, only
Yeah.
come over and, like you say, poop on our heads. Look at like the entire Congressional Black Caucus, which
Mm.
they are 70% immigrants, and every caucus are supposed to do for their sector of people. Like the Asian caucus, if you read their syllabus and their mission statement, it's all about uplifting Asians, AAPI. Same with the Hispanic caucus, definitely the white caucus, and the immigrant, I mean, not the immigrant, but the South Asian caucus, because they are divided. Yeah, it's like a subset of the Asian caucus. However, when you read the Congressional Black Caucus, it's about everything but black people. Yeah, it covers immigrants, which some immigrants are black, but even with those black immigrants, is a very small sector of them. And it's about LGBT and dogs and cats and Chucky dolls. In anything to they'll use our struggle. They'll use MLK or
Oh no,
some.
I agree with you. I see, this is the thing. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I see the obviousness of what these people are doing. This is their look. Let me say this: if they never, before they allowed immigrants to come in, did you have sellouts before that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yes. Look
What
at
I'm saying, but nobody was saying that you okay, so you had that. They caused the division. Now they're very clever, and they're not, they're slick, they're very sly. Yeah. They basically they allowed, because you fought for the rights for immigrants and so on and so forth. And they use that. Everything that you guys have fought for, they use against you. The same thing over here. So they got them over there, and then they started to twist and weave their narrative, their spells of, oh, these people are this, that, and the other. There was a Jamaican sister who literally turned around and said, this is what they're telling us. It's this is what's written in the Bible, that Esau, this is the things that Esau does. I'm not saying that, call them out. I agree with you, call them out. But if we keep having these divisions, in one breath we turn and say we need to come together, we need to be united. Yasharal needs to do more, and this, that, and the other. But then in the same breath, we're still adding to these divisions. It's like the same kind of thing where our people say, I ain't reading that book. That's a white man's book. Where did they get that from? Who told them? Who was the first one that spread that lie?
Mm.
Do you understand what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, sometimes when you get to the nitty gritty of it, who started it? You followed some of these buzzwords, and when you look behind it all, is one of them.
Mm.
Sister Chantel, I'm gonna start calling you Stokely Carmichael's granddaughter. You are very shrewd. I like that.
No, look, I just see, and I watch and I see what's going on. And I really don't like all the discord. I don't like us being at odds with each other. I really don't like it. I don't like it. And I feel that even and I'm not against, please don't get this wrong. I am not against you speaking about the things that some of these our brothers and sisters do, who come in and think that they're going to side with the enemy. They need to get cussed for
So
that,
so
right?
so should Covenant Awakenings have non FBAs calling in, and I'll have the background music in the back. No, sir. No, sir. Let me tell you this, sir. No, sir. Let me tell you what FBAs did for this country and for you, sir.
No, please. I love listening. I love listening to the things that you guys have done. I do. I love listening to the things that you guys done. My heart aches when I hear the struggles and the strife and everything. It's watching and learning your history as well as learning my own in this country, because they've hidden it, where I started to cry out, what on earth have we done to these people for them to hate us so much? But it's like, but then I started to see why we're so against each other, and we need to stop that. We really do need to stop that. It's
Cut from a different cloth. Yeah, yeah. Listen, we had a non FBA call in, and
yes, please, man, cuss them.
I had to put them in their place.
But to add what
I
Sister
don't.
Chantel is saying,
Listen. I
to add
don't
to what
like
And
Candy. Candace,
to
I'm
add to what
whatsoever.
she's saying,
not
add to
gonna
what she's
lie. Shout
saying.
out to Tariq Nasheed, because there's some ignorant behind folks that aren't as you know amenable, or very congenial congenial to our struggle. That come on over. They do come on over. And you see it. You see it on over there too in the UK. They come on over, and it's like, hey, so who cares what you all did? I'm over here making this, and then guess what? Then they get that bad mindset because of what they've been told. Hey, you just need to come on over, and who cares who's been here for a while? They don't mean anything. And then they quickly learn that there are some folks that were here that really had a price to pay for them to enjoy what they're enjoying, whether you're in the Caribbean, whether you're in the Americas, whether you're in the UK.
Mm.
Everybody had to go through that struggle. Everybody had to go through that pain. Everyone. Doesn't matter if you're on the islands. Everyone.
But just to
So
make it,
when we put up, sorry, I was gonna say no. Go on, Roger, because I said some stuff. So I'll wait. I'll say after you.
no, it's just gonna be really quick. I know some people might feel some kind of way about Tariq Nasheed, but as far as like the UK blacks over there, the UK Negroes, ooh, shoot, well, let me wash my mouth. No, Tariq
Oh,
Nasheed,
say your piece.
no, no, Tariq Nasheed really shot y'all out. I mean, he stands up for y'all.
Listen,
Mhm.
listen.
Yeah.
There were some
He's
sisters and
and he's
some brothers.
and he's not allowed to go over to the UK anymore. He got restricted.
And why do you think that is? Same reason why they didn't want Snoop to come over, but they let the worst of certain other people come over. But like, what do I know? But I'm like I said, there is a need to protect yourself. I'm not against that. But when we start sectioning off ourselves,
Hmm.
who benefits from that?
Yeah. Well, absolutely, absolutely, because it is a.
Divide and conquer is his way.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. That was that. If folks see, folks have to understand. We may read in the Word everything about Judah and things of that nature, everything about Israel, Yasharal, things of that nature. But you have to understand there are some prophecies for Edom and the way that Edom would be able to conquer this world. Read in Isaiah, read in Ezekiel, read in Jeremiah how Edom works. But
Mm,
in the way that he works was also the way that he was going to to perish.
mm.
That's the prophecy of Edom, and we're seeing that right now.
And slander as well. He operates just like Satan,
Mm-hmm.
exactly like Satan.
Well, why do you think Edom was a dragon? Why do you think these households, excuse me, not these households, when you look at what's going on in Europe and they have like the dragon and things of that
Mhm.
nature?
Wales,
Well,
the
yeah.
Welsh flag has a big red dragon on it.
Yep. They're trying to tell you who they are without really telling you who they are.
You know the story of Arthur. You know Arthur Pendragon. Do you know what Pen means? It means high top dragon. So
Mm,
Arthur Pendragon, the top dragon, the high dragon. You know, remember there's what the prophecy of the once and future king. Does anybody ever stop to think that maybe that might be talking about from their perspective the what's it called, the Antichrist?
mm,
Just saying.
mm.
That's
But
a
they look, that's Esau's way, discord and you know. What was you going to say, Roger?
oh no, I was just saying that was a
I
good
think I
point.
can't see it.
That was a good
Hmm?
point. You never looked at it from that angle, but you just shed a light on something.
Yeah. I
Mm.
mean, I'm like I said, I'm not. I agree. Look, with people that are not in the know as to who they are and they're acting the way they act because they're still tied to Babylon, whether they are foundational Black Americans or whether they just fresh off the boat, whether they came, whatever, they're still tied to Babylon, and they still are essentially against you,
Mm.
against us. We are the elect of the chosen. But for the elect's sake, we are the elect of the chosen. Those of us who are awake and know what's going on. The rest of them are still tied to the system. I'm not, what I am saying is that while we are here amongst ourselves, there shouldn't be any boundaries or barriers. I don't feel, I literally clap, yes, give them their reparations, please. I can't stand to see what's happening to you guys. I really don't. It really does make my blood boil, right? What I'm saying is here, when we are amongst each other, we are family. We are family. There should be no division. When we go out, listen, we all go back to our own biological families and we have to deal with their mess and whatever, whatever. They're still our family, but we also understand there is a division. I'm not saying that what I'm trying to say is that the division, not so much the division, but the separation, because at the end of the day, the Most High is gonna separate us from those who are not awake. We're gonna have to be, because these are the same ones who are going to end up turning on us. These are the same ones, just like we saw in the time of the Inquisition, and during the time of it literally says it in Matthew 24. They will offer you up. Look, it's literally wash, rinse, repeat with scriptures sometimes.
Mm.
So we have to be prepared that our own flesh and blood family members, our sisters, our cousins, some of us are mothers, our fathers and brothers, and so on and so forth. We might have to deal and contend with them. But
Mm.
while we are here, we are family. Spiritually, we are Yasharel, and we are tied by the Spirit, by the Holy Spirit. There shouldn't be no division.
Can I add some?
But yeah,
So, if,
we need to do final comments. But go ahead, brother Mike.
I
Final
was gonna
comment.
say, imperialism comes with a spirit, and it's the spirit of selfishness, me on top and me first. And when everybody's operating in that spirit, what we do is we work against each other's cause and
Mm,
cancel, and we can't come together and ask for justice. You can't, for instance, like what's going on in the Middle East. Everybody know what's going on over there right now, and Israel is a colonial, a British colonial
Oh boy, it's called
situation.
we call it Eastern Nation, Eastern
Eastern,
Mediterranean Nation.
okay, the Eastern Mediterranean nation. Well, what's going on is another colonial project, which is like Sister Chantel was saying wash, rinse, and repeat. Now you can't separate, either you're with colonialism or you're not with it. Either you're with justice or you're not with justice. And the separation of me first, I gotta be first. I believe a lot of things eschatology has passed. A lot of things a lot of people think is coming. Me personally, I could be wrong. I believe it passed. I think we really, like, literally, really in the end time. I don't think we have to worry about our people turning. I think when the Most High moves, everybody's gonna know everything, and everything's gonna be understood. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong. Kick it to the side, but I think unity, and to say that you're gonna be a kingdom, a priest, a kingdom, a righteous kingdom, you have to start advocating for righteousness. Period. Period. Not my righteousness, not advocating for me, advocating for what's right. Because as long as what right goes, everybody will get what belongs to them in the long run. And I'm done with that one right there.
All right, thank you, Brother Mike. Brother Mike, appreciate it.
I'm sorry. I was going to make the next final comment.
All right, thank you, Brother Rojo. Appreciate it.
I was just going to say that as far as Sister Chantel goes, like me, I'm going to continue to carry the banner of FBA, but just so you won't feel alienated, because you do make a lot of sacrifices for the channel.
No. Please don't. Please. I'm not saying that not to. I don't want you to stop doing something, because it's oh my gosh, it's kind of hard, because I know why you do it. I do, and I understand there needs to be a protection, because I understand, and Lion Pride said exactly. I agree. I agree with you 100%. They come and they push the same narrative and agenda as Esau. It's literally Esau in blackface. Well, whether Esau's blackface or whatever, but so sorry, go on, Roger.
No, I'm with you on that, sister. But just in this space, just for the few hours we do come together in fellowship, I mean, I do feel that, because I try to be fair-minded about stuff. I try to, I try to balance and weigh everything out. I mean, in good measure. I mean, that's what the Most High is all about. That's what Yeshua is all about. It's about justice and balance and fairness. And I mean, if someone has an issue with it, because that can be a little tear on the sword, that eventually, when a very powerful swing is coming, you have to rely on that sword to defend you. It'll break, and the attack will get through and injure you. So I'll tone down on that, only for your sake, because I think you're worth the effort here. And because one thing I will say, and I'll be fair, Karis doesn't bag me on that. I'm the one who brings that in here, and like I said, just so people won't feel subjected to it, I'll tone down on it. I'm not saying that it'll completely stop, because it's something that's embedded in me. So if it slips out, just check me on it, and I'll just wave the banner outside of the space. So I wasn't offended when you said how you feel about it. In fact, like I said, Karis will tell you, I don't like echo chambers. If there's something that someone has to say about how I'm, saying something or conducting myself, please do, because that's what you call iron sharpening iron. So, I mean,
Roger, I will not declaw you at all. Keep your claws sharp.
Yeah, as long as we
say what you need to say out of there. But all I'm saying is just we're all here together. Just do you understand what I'm saying?
Sister Chantel, as long as you say that it's not a platform violation, channel violation. Look, you hit Rojo with them violations of channel.
No, Rojo, no.
Rojo goes to the
I don't want that, because when you went all quiet, Rojo, that made me feel a bit. I felt like I was being watched.
like somebody need to give Rojo a
I
hug a
didn't feel
couple weeks ago.
comfortable. I was
Rojo
like,
needed
are
a
we?
hug. Oh my
Yeah, man. I felt like, are we all being monitored? Roger's
Man,
uncharacteristically quiet. Like, no,
I had to be like,
I don't want anybody to change. Like, I told you, keep being you. I appreciate everybody. Everybody is a part of this. It's amazing. We all are very similar, but we all have our own uniqueness about us, and I love that. Everybody brings a piece. It's like this is like a big massive cookout. Everybody's bringing, you know. I just yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but we are all family, like Chantel said, like Dens and
Why? Okay, I just wanted to say what in pursuit.
oh,
Um, so I just kind of gave a breakdown as to why it's not that it's wrong. It's just okay. So you've got brothers and sisters who are waking up in other places, not just in America. You've got brothers and sisters on the obviously on the continent. You've got brothers and sisters who are in South America, in the Caribbean, even far as India, China,
well,
Japan. You've got
I,
them
I think
everywhere.
I think the easiest way to just really categorize this is it's just basically the categorization and classification for reparations and reparations based only. You get what I'm saying? Because what did we just see last week? It was what the prime minister of what Barbados or something that said that her people were owed $5 trillion. Okay, well those Barbadians are going to be you know getting their money. Trinidadians would be getting their money, right? Martinicans would be getting their money. St. Lucians would be getting their money. That's just kind of that's really the whole basis of FBA, in my opinion. Anything else is just kind of it. Those are just
You
misnomers. To
know,
be honest.
things. No, I agree with you. I see that, but I also understand how people are, and I know
Mhm.
that when people, especially when it comes to money, good grief, people go like they change, and it's like somebody might be getting more than some others, and that's when squabbles are going to happen. And
Mhm.
I kind of feel that that is one of the reasons why the Most High, when Israel came out of Egypt, everybody came out. It was like nobody was coming out and saying, "This is mine." Somebody died trying to hoard things.
Mhm.
If you remember the story, somebody died. So I don't know how this is going to be in terms of how, like, I'm not, for me, I don't even, I'm not even bothered about the reparations at this point. What I'm just more concerned about is just people waking up and others coming in, and it's like, oh, you hear sometimes the with the camps and everybody, and some of them talking about Africans and stuff like that, and it's like s- some of them are our brothers and sisters, but you want to push somebody else. Now,
Oh,
obviously, the
oh yeah,
foundation of the FBA doesn't apply to that. But what I'm
yeah.
saying is that you've got people who are saying one thing and somebody else saying something else. And then when they come in here and then it's like, oh, foundational Black Americans. All I'm saying is that let's, while we're here, I don't know, maybe I'm not making any sense, or
No,
it's
you're
in my
exactly
head
you're
and I'm
exactly
just not
right
able
because
to.
what's the main purpose? What's the main point of this channel, right? I say that in the greetings, right? Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from all around the world, right? Whether you're the bloodline of what? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Hmm.
That's the factors. Guess what? Even with the understanding of having the term of FBA, it's a misnomer that really does distract you from really that you're in captivity. We were brought over here in captivity. So if you want to put it as a term or this or that, okay. I mean, you can, but the reality is this is our captivity.
Mm.
So captivity may have been in America, it may have been in Cuba, it could have been in the Canary Islands. I mean, it could have been anywhere around the world. Does it really matter? No, because it's captivity. So, it is what it is. But I know, yeah, a lot of our
Sorry,
folks,
Delisha,
uh,
foundational earthly black inhabitants. I like that one. That's funny.
so, yeah, everybody wants to get their slice of their pie, what they're entitled to, you know.
I look. I said this from like I've always said, like whatever the Most High gives me, He gives me, and I'll just be happy with that. I am not trying to be no leader. I ain't trying to be nothing like that. I speak and I say what I need to say. If I really wanted to have a platform, I would have done one. I don't mind saying what I say,
All,
and that's
all,
it.
all, all we're
I
trying
don't
to
want
say
that.
is, look, the Most High better give us a bigger check. No, I'm just, you're looking at somebody from Jamaica like, man, what's your check look like?
Yeah, I don't want none of that. Cause that, oh my gosh, that's when we're gonna start acting really. I'm like, oh gosh, come, like, let's not do that, please.
We're gonna be
She's got a bit.
captivity comparing.
Why they got
Man,
more than me? You know, when it's like when it comes to food and we're all gathering and one sibling gets a bit more than the other one, like kind of like that. I just, when I see things like this, like I said, I see it's family, and I know just how, we all know how family get and everything. I
hmm
just, I just, I know that we're all family. That's not even an issue. But I just don't want the outside. What, I know that we go off and we have to have our own struggles that we have to deal with and everything. And it's kind of nice, like you wipe your feet off at the door and we just come in and we just sit down and we just break bread together and we're just chilling. Whatever's going on outside is outside. We're just here, and we're just chilling and relaxing with family. That's all I'm saying. You know, I just I know that everybody plays a part and everything. I'm not ignorant to that, but I just feel like we're all sitting, we're all learning, and we're all experiencing, and we're sharing our experiences. And I don't I I'm I'd like everybody to just feel like they're all equal in this, if you get me.
yeah, we have to be able to really sympathize and empathize with our brothers and sisters all around the world. Everybody's gone through a captivity. Everybody's gone through a segment of different things. Not everybody's captivity was as harsh. Look, and a lot of our brothers and sisters around the world know that we've been in the belly of the beast.
Mm,
The racism here in the United States is like none else. We all know that.
mm,
Everyone knows that. Yeah, even white folks over there in the UK will tell you, "Oh, their racism is bad."
yeah, because then it kind of, we're not like that though, are we?
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like even they'll admit none of like America's racism was bad. I had a professor of my last class that I just wrapped up. He lives in Alabama, and his wife is black, and he's from Finland. He's from Finland,
Mm,
and Scandinavians know, and he said it point blank. He said, "Yeah, racism's real bad here in the United States." He didn't care. He said, He said, "Look, my wife has experienced it, and I was only able to get it from a glance, just because of being married to someone who's an African American." And he said, "And yeah, this is it's a very bad experience of racism." I was like,
and look, it's so
I said,
it's
"Well,
so bad.
professor."
It's what woke a lot of people up.
Yeah, well, I was like, I was thinking. I said, well, it was nice knowing that professor. I guess he's gonna get fired from the university. because he said the truth. But you have to understand a lot of folks are now being empowered to say the truth. But so what do you think the image is looking like with the US?
It's not
When it's
looking
been
good.
white folks around the world that's kind of held that US above reproach of, well, who cares what you do to these black folks on over here? Because no matter what, even what we do with our black people here in these nations that we've held them captive, it pales in comparison to what black folks there are experiencing. Right? It's a
Well,
sacrificial lamb. It's a
you
scapegoat.
know that you know that other Europeans everywhere, whether in South America, South Africa. Well, South Africa, that's something different as well. But in Australia, Europe here, Europe and over here, they all use white Americans as a measuring rod. And
Of
as
how
long as
bad
they
we
don't
are.
get, yeah,
Exactly. Of
as
how
long as we
bad
don't
they
hit
are.
that mark, we're still
Bingo.
good, right? And they look at us,
Bingo.
nudge, nudge, wink, wink, we're all right, yeah? No.
Hmm.
But they know we haven't touched that mark, so we're still
Yeah.
safe,
We're
whatever that
not as
means.
bad as the Americans. That's literally it. We're not as bad as Americans. I even I had that from a French person, an Italian person.
Until they realize what their people are doing outside, they've exported their racism, so they don't see it too much. But your
Hmm.
racism is in Africa,
Yeah.
and that's different.
Hmm. Yeah. So that so it's not funny, but it's true. It's true. And that's where even around the world we are literally that measuring stick of, dang, if we get as bad as America, oh, it's going to get bad. But you got to remember, because here's the thing: we've learned to tolerate it. For the most part, we get ran over, we get shot, we get
Yeah.
killed. When we tolerate it, we'll say, Martin Luther the King, Martin Luther the King, free at last,
Hmm.
and then we'll sing some Negro spirituals, and talk about in the sweet by and by. These other nations, our folks in these other nations, nah, they're not as forgiving as us. So
Hmm.
they will actually do something, and that's what they're more afraid of.
Mm.
For us, we just been so broken to the point. We're so broken to the point of being broken. We for channels and platforms like this, and we also and there was someone in here earlier. They try to come on in, especially amongst those folks. And look, I've been at this thing for over 3 years, over 3.5 years. Ain't nothing shaking this. And you want to know why they're so scared is because they see everything that we've said is now coming to pass.
Mm.
We
Yeah.
weren't going to be here to lift our fingers because, quite frankly, we are destroyed people. Just as you said, Chantel, we were destroyed physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially.
And do you know, it's funny because it had to be that way. Because imagine if we wasn't, imagine if we had some strength, imagine the blowback after that. It has to be there. Look, what does it say? There will be, they're going to be looking for our guilt, but they won't be able to find it.
No,
That's why they keep trying. And it's like, what can you do? Even with this whole, the movie, like it was an Egyptian man that made that. You want to start
hmm
going on about Obama? Like, we don't even claim Obama. So, whatever.
because the Egyptians, the North Africans, the Middle Eastern, they see and they understand and they know what's going on.
Anyway, you can't get mad at Egyptians. I mean, everybody knows that white people are Egyptian. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
exactly, exactly. And then they'll be quick to say, "Well, Egypt is 90% black." they'll
mm,
be they'll be quick to change those demographics, won't they?
yes,
Huh?
exactly. And Diana, listen, sis, listen, they can keep their paper money. There's a whole carriage that man rode up in. You know, the Queen's carriage or the King's carriage now, full of gold, just
Yeah,
gold.
yeah. Chantel
So,
says she's gonna get that to her chop shop.
man, that's coming home. That's coming home. I don't know. There's a will, there's a way. That's coming home. You can keep the horse though. I
Oh,
want none of that, nothing from that. But listen, I love our people. I do. I really do. And I enjoy coming up here and, I know I talk a lot. I'm sorry. I do talk a lot. And I know it's kind of, I am actually shy and I am actually nervous. Um, I know you'd never believe it, but I am. And, but if I don't, it's only because I've become accustomed because, like I said, it's family here. I feel like I'm around family. So it's like I really do enjoy spending time with all of you, and I like to make sure that people feel happy and are smiling and are laughing. I like that. I like that, and I look forward to seeing us all in the land where we could just be ourselves, and be a nation under the Most High. So, Karis, thank you for having me. And Rojo, if you're listening, brother, I love you. Please keep your claws sharp. Don't declaw nothing, But as a lion, you're here amongst other lions in the pride. So, we don't need to be fighting. So, well, we ain't even fighting anyway, but but I love each and every one of you. So anyway, at this point I need to shut up.
yep. Hallelujah. Yeah, because I actually have to get on to some meetings here today.
Yeah, and my
A lot of
throat is
things.
dry. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, thank you for having me on, and thank you for your understanding, all of you. And if I've peed off anybody, I apologize. I wasn't trying to make you feel like I'm not against you. I am 100% for everything. I am. I really am. So
And Sister
yeah.
Chantel, I'm gonna invite you to call into Tariq Nasheed and I'm just
Hey, no, 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 no. I don't know.
oh,
I listen to them sometimes. I'm not gonna think, but it's like it gets frustrating because it's like, oh, why don't you just pick up the Bible and just see? Because it's like all this running around and everything. It's like you're fighting for a nation that is literally about to get nuked. So,
man, let him tell us about it. All
but
right.
anyway, I gotta go because my kids are back. So,
All right, thank you, Sister Chantel. All right,
all right,
shalom
shalom.
from across the pond. All right, family. This was I didn't think I was gonna go 3 hours. I didn't think I was gonna go the distance today. But yeah, this is a seminar. Welcome to the Covenant Awakening Seminar. We're going to go over a lot of things pertinent to what is going on via prophecy. Yeah, no, the family. I thank you all for the support. This is what we like to do. This is what the Most High has allowed me to do. Your support literally allows that on this channel, and it allows for gifts. Your gifts allow for the on Quest Unite Africa. I'm not talking about Quest Unite Africa. You give at $Q2UA. If you want to give via Cash App, is $Q2UA. So let me write this on down here for Quest Unite Africa. That's what helps supports the mission at Quest Unite Africa. See, it's one thing to be hearers, but we have to be doers. Is that not what the word says? And if you don't understand what the African Union is doing in this day and age, they're literally fighting for us to receive reparations. Africans don't like us. Africans don't think you hear all that nonsense that was said a couple of months ago, but they won't tell you what just happened in Ghana. They won't tell you what the African Union is telling these other nations, especially European nations. They're not telling you what Ghana's literally doing to control their cocoa export. And when them white folks don't get their cocoa, oh man, let them not get their peppermint mocha latte from Starbucks while it's in season. Please. Let them not get their peppermint and chocolate. Man, you want to know when that next self-deletion epidemic, cut off the chocolate from them. Yeah, yeah. See, we have to understand things are being done in a smart way. That's how the Most High moves. But family, we are here to not just sit, enjoy, relax, and matter of fact, we're here to work. And let me tell you, playtime is over. So think about what we're able to do in the time that we're able to do it, because we're living in some awesome times. So yes, family, being able to hand out mother newborn kits, being able to talk about linen projects, being able to talk about large high pressure water filtering, and then writing grants, writing for those grants that can support these projects. But it all takes our support. We definitely appreciate the prayers. But in my shameless coming to America quip, we appreciate the money that jingles, but we would rather take the donations that fold. I don't know. I'll try to talk to the board about having a community awareness week. Oh boy. I don't know how that's going to equate digitally, but you all know what I'm saying. I don't even think you can put any pennies on cash. Cash out, I just want to donate 50 cents. Oh my goodness. Oh, hallelujah. Sorry, I had to go there with that coming to America segment. Oh, but yes, family, we're all one people. No matter where we've been at, no matter where we've gone through, no matter where our final destination was in this captivity, we're all here for the Most High's glory, for the Most High's purpose. So, family, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 24 hours, especially with these shipping lanes. But all I can also say is prepare. All I can say is prepare. We have to prepare. Tell your family to prepare. Tell your loved ones. Tell your spouses. Tell your children, your moms, dads, aunts, uncles, friends, anyone that's going to listen. And I'm so glad that we take donations online, because I guarantee you that if we did pass around the donation plate, somebody would be putting some chicken wing bones in the plate. Oh my goodness. During our QTUA community awareness, we'll get the African version of sensual chocolate. Man. All right, let me stop. The voice actor from the new Lion King. Tanzanian Zone. Oh my goodness. Hallelujah. All right, family. So with that, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom. Peace and blessings. Yasharel.
Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Karibuni sana.
Container packed with supplies that need to make their way to families in Africa, like yesterday. You said this is a 53-foot trailer? This trailer is packed with medical supplies destined to the motherland. We need to help get these out of here.